if the venture studio is a co-founder, it probably also needs co-founder equity, so not just single-digit equity points. What are you seeing in the industry? How much equity does the studio normally take, or kind of split across these couple of different levels of involvement in the companies?
I think you framed it really well. If the studio is showing up as a co-founder, then it's going to take right around a co-founder equity share. And that's a great way to think about it. It's a great anchor point. When I look at a studio, one of the questions I ask is how well is it performing that role? If it's really acting as a co-founder and providing a ton of support for 12, 18 months or more, then okay, that makes sense. That co-founder share starts to make sense. If they're not, and they're starting to look a little bit more like an accelerator, then the co-founder share doesn't make any sense. Now, there's no hard and fast rule for the right amount of equity in any given studio, because every studio is in a different ecosystem, building different companies in different industries for different follow-on capital sources with different entrepreneurs. So all of those factors really shape what's the right deal profile. But just to give you a couple of anchor points of examples, if you're building in the biotech space, it's common for studios to take a lot more. Investors take a lot more equity just because of the nature of that business and the time required to, one, build the businesses, but also to go through testing. Getting all the regulatory approvals for those businesses means the CEO and a lot of the staff don't have to necessarily be full-time in that business. So that business behaves a lot differently. But if you took that same equity approach and you applied it to building a software company where the studio now owns 70%, all the follow-on investors are going to be like, you have violated the norms of this industry. We're out.
Right.
So, there is no one rule, but you do have to be aware of the ecosystem that you're operating in.
Right.
And if the deal structure you're taking as a studio does not fit the follow-on capital sources that your companies need to survive and thrive, then you've got a really big problem as a studio.